So who would like to go first?
Well,
Lisa, obviously.
I'll go.
Okay, Lisa, and then Terry, and then Israel. No, Terry,
Yes.
no. So Lisa, Israel, Ihor, are you there? Or Olive?
Yes, here.
Okay, you ready to present?
Sure.
Okay, so you're going third. So we go on Lisa, Israel, and Ihor. Give me 1 second.
Sounds good.
I think I can.
Yes, thank you, Shanley, for recording the session.
Oops.
So you're gonna have 5 minutes, Lisa. Okay? Each of you are gonna have 5 minutes. Let me do the math real quick. So if we are basically, we should be able to have 10 minutes each of us, meaning 5 minutes of presentation and 5 minutes of Q&A. That will be 50 minutes in total if we are 10, if 10 of us present next Thursday. So if we go a little bit more because of the feedback or the questions or just transitioning, we will have plenty of time, okay? So we're gonna test that today with 5 minutes of presentation and 5 minutes of Q&A.
Perfect. Yeah. So today is a pre-rehearsal of the rehearsal. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, because the last rehearsal will be next Tuesday. So Lisa, I'm gonna time you for 5 minutes. Give me 1 second real quick to make sure I turn off. Sorry guys, is that we don't have classes tomorrow because of the storm. Make sure you are safe.
Thank you.
Yeah, what's going on? I just got that text. Is it because it's a city school that they're being overly cautious, or is this really a big storm?
It's not a big storm. It's a tropical storm, but it says that it most likely it's gonna hit. It's mild, meaning like 60 to 70 miles per hour kind of winds, which means that we're gonna be surfing. But for the rest, we just have to be careful. So it's more preventive than anything else.
Beginning tomorrow?
Yeah. Okay, Lisa, I'm ready whenever you're ready. Remember, we don't know you. We don't know anything about you. So start strong, elevator pitch, and everything that we already have practiced until now.
I'm Lisa Dorfman. I'm the running nutritionist, and I'm here to share Food Fitness Energy Bites. Food Fitness Energy Bites help individuals attain and maintain their personal goals one bite at a time. The Food Fitness Energy Bites are really customized for 4 markets: the active fitness-minded individual, the competitive athlete, the busy professional, and those seeking optimal fuel for overall wellness. And while all have health in mind, they all have different lifestyles and goals. And for that reason, these 4 energy bites that have been created by both chefs and sports nutritionists are striving to accomplish different goals. The Empower Ball to build strength, lean muscle, reduce body fat. The Sustain Ball, which helps those who need to improve speed and endurance, have more energy, better focus. The Replenish Ball that helps to reboot energy levels, enhance muscle recovery, and reduce muscle soreness. And just the Nourish Balls, the general good, nutritious ball for those who like to snack and like to feel good, but want to get something out of it. All the balls are organic and vegan and allergen-free and gluten-free. They're sustainable, they're raw, and they're gut-friendly. I'm Lisa Dorfman. I'm the Chief Energy Officer and founder of Food Fitness Energy Bites. I'm an award-winning sports performance nutritionist and chef. I was a pro triathlete. I've competed all over the world, actually in the World Championships. I'm an 8-time published book author. I've worked with the Olympic teams, worked with other corporations, and most importantly, worked with my competitor brands. We have 4 channels that we are striving to get these bites to the consumer. One is direct, where they would get them from me, my website, my presentations. Indirect, from distributors, brick and mortar, gyms, clubs. Subscription or bundled memberships that they would get programs, books, coaching, exclusive offers, and then an affiliate licensing channel that we are looking towards maybe doing it concurrently while we're working on our initial core group. The market size is huge. Globally, it's 45.3 million in this sports fuel market. In the US, it's 13.1 billion. And that should climb to about 31 billion according to sports marketing reports. 42 million in the US consume energy bars. And the serviceable obtainable market, the low-hanging fruit is about 1 to 6 million direct, indirect, online, and again, based on market research. The revenue models are $8.99 for the direct, indirect $6.99. The membership bundle, they get a few units plus other services, and the affiliate at $6.99 a unit. This is a chart that some of you might recall from last week. The direct sales at five units a day, 1,800 units for the year, 100% growth the second year, and then expansion of variety and flavors the third year. We did the same for indirect with a 9% compound annual growth rate, 100% growth the second year, and direct subscription. Total sales, cost of unit is $405 in the gross. You asked me to break it down into the individual segments. Direct sales, gross profit, we would have about 55%. Intermediate sales, the least amount at 42%, and subscription at 84%. But you could clearly see we would make our most money, which really is in sync with what what the market says, that most sales are online. Our gross profit is 165. Our operating costs bring us down to expenses of about 78,000, leaving us with a net income before taxes at 87,000 for the first year, 253 for the second year, and for year 3, 419,000.
That's correct.
Wow. Oh,
Okay.
So,
Any comments or questions?
Oh, I lost you.
hey, welcome.
Go ahead. Well, before we start with the Q&A, so I want to welcome Paulina and Wilfred. Thank you for joining us in today's session. This is Create, a group of avid entrepreneurs that are looking forward to launch their products and services to the market in the next couple of weeks. If you could please introduce yourself. I will start with you, Paulina. If you can unmute yourself and introduce yourself and let us know what caught your interest about this session and a little bit about you. Paulina Borges, if you can hear me. Hello, Paulina, you there?
mhm.
Can you hear us? Let me see, it's through the chat.
Maybe she stepped away.
Okay. So we're gonna start the 5-minute Q&A now for any comments or questions. Let's go with Ali first and then Israel.
Great job, Lisa. Um, I have a suggestion or a comment.
Yeah.
The slide where I love again how you put the slide about yourself a little further in once you've hooked us, but
Right.
you are so super qualified. You go through all of that, and then you just go to the next slide. I'd love to hear something there along the lines of there's no one more qualified to disrupt the market than me. Just something, why are you telling me all this about you? You tell me all that and then you go to the next slide, but like you're telling me that because I should trust you and that's why I'm going to buy from you instead of your competitor. You ended it with like, I worked for the competitor, so that's a suggestion. And then also on your slide, unless Israel, you want to go and then come back to me, just to be fair. I have another comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Israel, you go, and then I'll go again.
No, please, Ale.
Oh, okay. Your slide where you have red, yellow, orange, and green with prices.
Yes.
I know for next week, that's not necessarily one of our slides. I'd love, like, as if this was Shark Tank. Like, okay, great, you're selling it for this much, but how much is it costing you? This
Yes.
is a really easy way to digest that. If I could see your profit through each of these channels in like something so simple. Because I'm seeing you're selling it for that, but I don't know yet what your cost is. So
Right.
if I'm an investor, I don't realize how profitable this is yet. But this is a great slide to build on, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Israel?
Just very good presentation, Lisa.
Thank
One question and one comment. I think that in the TAM is
Yes.
smaller. Yeah, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Just so you can change that and it makes sense how you drill down. And the
Say,
question.
what was the recommendation? I
No,
didn't.
just to put the correct number.
Yeah,
Because
because you
the
have
total can't be
total, you have a total addressable market that is smaller than
smaller.
the service addressable market.
That's right.
Basically, you're telling us that the market that you have available, it's bigger than the total
The
available
total.
market that exists,
Wow.
especially globally.
I think it says 45.3 billion.
Yeah.
It should say,
Oh,
and,
yes.
right.
45 billion. Yes, I made a mistake. I'm so sorry. Okay. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yep.
What
Thanks.
else? And just one question. I don't think if I catch correctly, but you said that you work for your competitor. You used to work?
I work what? Oh, I've done a lot of work for a lot of the competitor companies. Plus, I was sponsored by them as a professional athlete. So I had real like insider learning on how they, market and grow products. And I certainly have eaten a lot of products along the way. That's for sure.
Okay, I
But
will ask you this like if I'm the investor, not your companion. Is there any interest conflict in this case? Because
no, because it's been
you
long.
know that kind of questions, right?
Yes, it's been long enough where I haven't worked for them. So there's absolutely no issue there.
Yeah, just so you can be ready to answer that one because it makes
Yeah.
sounds strange that you used to work and now you are rolling
Yeah,
out. Perfect.
I agree.
Out of that,
Thank you.
very good.
Diana?
So, I can't not give you a compliment because I think these slides are beautiful. I think that the way that they're laid out, the color, everything and we worked so hard on them. But looking at it from like next week,
Yeah.
I guess this is also a question for you, Gustavo, is like, what we've been building up until now is a reflection of each of the lessons that we were going through in class. But the next week shouldn't it really be something that we're looking to present to investors where like there's too many like little details was my overall thing. It's like there's too many words, there's too many details. Like I want to know in simple, like especially in the oral presentation part, I want to know like fewer business plan terms, like all the things that we were learning in class, and more like, all right, who are you? Who, you know, like, who's your consumer? Where can we buy your goods? Why are you better? Like, that's the biggest thing I haven't seen yet, is because you're going into such a competitive space, is like, what makes you better? What's going to make someone pick yours up versus someone else's, you know, the sea of food, right? The endless sea of food. So I think in your verbal, as you prepare a speech, there's a part that just needs to be human. I want to, you know, like, I just wanted to hear like who you are, like what your product was, as opposed to like the business side. And maybe, Gustavo, this is something for you to correct me on, like the product segment and the whatever, like, who cares? You know, like, as far as those words, do you want us to speak that way and present it in that way?
That's a great question. And I think at some point when we're talking about the market, I mentioned that these are just theoretical terms, in order for you to know what it is, what it means. And if someone asks you questions that way, but the whole presentation needs to be done in a way that tells a story, and you're speaking to a person that has never taken this course, therefore doesn't really know the terms that we're talking about, on one side. But if there is an investor somewhere in the room that speaks you in these terms, you know what are they talking about, so you can do that translation for them. So for example, when we talk about the TAM, total available market, that's just basically the size of the market. Okay. When we talk about service addressable market, that's just basically the market that is available to you. Okay. And when we talk about the target market, or it's just basically the people that you're going to attack first, your early adopters. Okay. When we talk, so I'm going to go now into my feedback for you.
Wait, I wasn't done. I have more points.
Okay, go.
Or
so,
you can go and I'll come back after. I don't know.
No, let's make sure. So Diana and Ali, just because we don't have everybody today, we have time in order to go more in detail. But go ahead. I'm gonna still monitor the time, so we all have time later. So go ahead, Diana, and then Ali.
Okay. So Gustavo, to circle back to your point, like what you're saying, like the total available market and stuff like that, like I wished that there were like just regular everyday colloquial terms where it's just like, well, first I'm going to go to attack these guys. Like, it's obvious that athletes, and then it's this, and then it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, I've been to a million pitches. I've been, you know, like we all would have participated and been on both the audience and, you know, the other side of it. And you're just like, just talk to me like a person, you know, and that's, yeah. So I'm glad that we're able to do that, so you can change some of that terminology. Like I wrote down like, slide 2 and 3. I feel like that could be one slide where it's like, you know, so if you go to slide 3, it's just like at the very top of, you have like the person 1, person 2, person 3, person 4. It could just be like athlete, like the 4 people, it could just be like a one word up at the top.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why it's not one slide, it's because in one she's speaking about the persona, and the other one she's speaking about the solution.
But it's the same thing.
No. No, because one, she's telling me about the pain points of those individuals, and the other one is talking about how her value proposition matches the pain points of those individuals.
Or maybe mix both the slides.
Her words can describe it, right? Yeah. And like her words can be like, so person 1, here's the pain points, and this is what it's going to solve. And the person 2, or like, you know, demographic, whatever. I don't know. That was just like, there's so many like little words and little things to focus on, like that it's
correct. So
less is more, right?
that I agree. And it's a general feedback that I'm going to get in terms of, for example, number 4 is a perfect example of how we need to take out all those words and all those images. Remember, we shouldn't have more than 6 objects in one slide. Right. If we have more than 6 objects in one slide, that immediately generates noise and distraction. So you can tell me with your words everything that is over here. You can tell me with your words every single word that is in slide number 3. But what you need, the slides, is just basically the less is more in that case. So the more simple representation that you can have through the images and one keyword is the best example.
Thank you. I agree with all your suggestions. There's not one that I don't feel the same way. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Diana, I want to make sure we cover your comments, and then we're gonna go pass it on to Ali.
The last one was, it's just another, I mean, when you talk about the segment, like down at the end, I think, because it's the same point that we're bringing up. It's like, there's too many facts and figures in a graph. So if maybe you get to that point and however you plan on presenting it, because now that we know that we don't have to present it in like, class terms, and we can present it in more like just general business terms. The verbal part of it is like, could you just take two numbers and compare them and say, year one is this, and then by year 3 we're going to do this, and then just bold those two numbers, because I don't think people, I think that's they just want to focus on the bottom line, maybe compare a today and then a future. But again, you may not even use a slide that even looks like that, because it's too much on one thing for the eyes to focus on. But yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ali?
A comment. You started with energy bites, and then you started talking about balls.
I did.
So on your first slide, I can clearly see that they're balls.
Yes.
But I don't know. I almost feel like let's just be consistent with how we describe them.
Yes.
Bite-sized energy balls or something, if that was the intention of the bites part. And
Yes.
then I don't know if we need the running nutritionist on your home slide, because you don't tell us about you until the slide with your picture. And wow, you're so fast. Look at you editing on the fly. Because, then I'm like, is her product the running nutritionist? Or, so I would just keep it to, I got distracted. Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's great. And to be, transparent here, we're still working on whether it's going to be a ball or a square, because that impacts, time,
Then
personnel.
let's call them then bites would be more, because a bite could be a square and a bite could be a,
Whatever side, whatever
Right.
form.
And I have to change this picture so that it doesn't, and it could be balls and bites. It could be balls and squares. We just haven't, decided yet. And there might be less in a package. I actually did the presentation for the other partner, and we talked about making maybe a smaller package to reduce the cost of, of the unit. So might be new things for next week.
Is that helping individuals attain and maintain personal goals? Is that a tagline? Is that
Yes, that was the mission.
your
Yeah.
mission?
Yeah.
Maybe, again, it's yours, it's only my input. Between personal and goals, add a word that is more applicable to, because it could be financial goals, it could be a lot of goals, but like health goals or fitness goal, like something, add one word between those two. Like it's, I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Whenever you save, we can go back to the slides. Out of curiosity, Lisa, what does that Japanese kanji means?
Energy.
Okay.
Chi. Yeah.
Thank you. So going back to the design, in terms of how many elements do we want to have per slide? So I will recommend for you to use one image for the overall slide, okay? Or take whatever you have on the border, that yellow green thing that it might come with a template, to take it out. Take out the helping individuals attain and maintain personal. You can take that out as well. You can tell me those things, okay? I love that. I love that attain and maintain your personal healthy goals or fitness goals one bite at a time. I like that. I agree with Ali when I even put it here where it says ball versus bite.
Yeah.
Because it is important to create that consistency in the message. The redundancy sometimes is good and sometimes is bad. In this case, redundancy in terms of how do you call your product, it's important. So if it's bites, regardless of the shape, keep it with bites, okay?
Okay.
Because that's gonna stick in the mind of the audience. So if we go to the next slide, again, I like the fact that we started our customer segmentation, and then we explain a little bit of the differences in the lifestyle of each of them. And if we go to the next slide, there is where I think you can simplify the words that exist, correct? That all these words into maybe one main category. So for example, if it's empower, it's about creating muscle or strength muscle. If it's sustain, it's about estamine. If it's replenish, it's about a reboot energy. It's about nourish, it's about optimal health. So like you leave one main word that is going to describe the whole thing, and you tell me those things,
What it means.
what it means. In terms of the 4 energy bite formulas, again, you can take that out and you can tell me those things, okay? So purpose driven fuel, that's good, but the 4 energy bites formula, you can tell me that. On the next slide. No, number 4.
Ah,
Number 4.
for 4. Sorry.
Yeah. So if I can see an image of you in action, that will be better than a Photoshop image of you in front of another image. So here again, all this for me, it goes in a complementary slide in terms of your credentials. It doesn't need to be here. It creates noise, but I will look more for a photo of you in action, meaning either training individuals, okay, or in a race, or something that speaks about your coaching experience. You tell me what you need to tell me, but I also agree with Ali where it says, what's the relationship that you have with this product in terms of, you said that you have eaten a lot of these products, right? So have any of these products produce any problems to you, right? Or have any of these products produced or created any problems for your clients? So I want to see how you combine your experience with the understanding of the problem. Therefore, because of your years of experience, have helped you identify the key factors or issues that led you to create this product.
Like after this slide, it's almost like that slide I used to have, stomach, sleepy, no energy. Remember I had the 3 people that were
But
affected.
it's not a separate slide. It is that same slide that you basically are going to rephrase the message of that slide by saying, I'm Lisa Dorfman, the running nutritionist, and I've been doing this for I don't know how many years, and my clients have suffered from this, and this because of this. That it will let me to create this product. So that's a connection. Number 5. So when we talk about, remember, titles, let's avoid titles and let's create highlights. 4 channels, that doesn't tell me anything, okay? I want to see how these channels are tied to the lifestyle of your target market, meaning why your clients are going to be direct consumers. Like, what is it about their lifestyle that is going to go to your website and buy this? Why your clients are going to go to Amazon? Do you have any proof of that? Why gyms? Why restaurants? What type of gyms? What type of restaurants? Okay. Subscription bundle membership. Why would they go for that? So more than the channel itself, it's what is it in the lifestyle of your clients that makes them acquire, achieve, subscribe this type of channels. Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes complete sense. So do I speak about it or do I write something on the slide about that?
Speak about it.
Speak
Okay.
about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just walk me through. Yeah, so I wrote down here, walk me through about how and why does your customer will learn and change the behavior.
Okay.
Okay. Then on the other slides, so for example, on slide number 6 and 7, we need to synthesize that information. On that slide, for example, I don't understand the 15 bytes, the 60 bytes, and the 15 bytes. I don't understand the logic of that. And I don't think you mentioned it. What does that mean? I think there you have an opportunity to mention like what's the percentage in terms of profit margin that you get from each of those revenue models. Okay.
Yeah.
And again, no titles, but headlines.
I'm just putting that there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then slide 8, 9, and yeah, 8, 9, and 10, we need to synthesize that information either in a graph or by the final numbers, okay? So it's more direct. These are all complementary slides, okay? And let me go back one, go further, sorry.
Go further. This way?
Yeah. So for example, here, we don't need to know all your operational expenses. We just need to know the total operating expenses. And we don't even need to see it in this format. Like with a graph, we can see the representation of sales, expenses, and a profit. Okay.
I'll work on that this week.
Perfect.
That was great. Thank you. That was such valuable feedback.
Thank
Wow.
you, Lisa. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay, so who's next? Israel, right?
I don't know who's next.
Israel.
Hmm? Okay. Okay. Only for you. Okay. As also Lisa said, and Diana, I took, in fact, Diana's approach, what she commented. So I prepared these slides. For today's session, I would like you to focus on the information. And during these days, for the next Tuesday, I will focus on the template, on the presentation. Okay. So this week I work on the information. So with that in mind, I would like to present you this. Okay.
Perfect.
So here we go, Gustavo. 5 minutes. Hello, good afternoon. My name is Israel Hernandez. I'm the co-founder of M3 Investments and Technology. She is Maria, he is Jose, and he is his son Marco. Last year, they decided to start a small investment after some friends told them that they were making good money in the stock market. First, they went to the bank where they have their savings and asked what was the minimum amount to invest in a stock managed strategy. The executive told them $25,000, which is much more than they have. So they went to another bank to open a certificate of deposit because somebody told them that it can be opened with $1,000 and pays a great 0.25% yearly. After that, they thought that they could open an account with no minimum investment and no commissions at Robinhood. But they discovered that they had to choose the stocks by their own and they realize that they don't know how to create a portfolio. For that reason, they are frustrated. But not anymore. Introducing To Portfolio. We bring Wall Street to your pocket. Let me tell you a story. In 1998, my brother and myself, we began developing software for banks in a garage in Mexico. In 2005, we disrupted the credit card industry when we invented the wireless IP point of sale. Then we invented the portable biometric point of sale to attend the underserved. And in 2011, we helped the banks to roll out remote branches through convenience stores nationwide. Until December 2013, when a French group bought our company. This exit was so successful that the Mexican Venture Capital Association gave us the 2015 award, and KPMG used us as a study case. Now, our mission is to promote and emphasize the importance of stop saving and begin investing among US Hispanic people. We vision a seamless and easy way to set it and forget it investing process for any regular person. But why us? Because we are transparent. We tell our users which investments work and which do not. We give them financial education in their own language, in this case, Spanish. We don't ask for minimum initial balance, and we don't lock down our users as hedge funds do. We are also unique because we monthly rebalance the portfolios using artificial intelligence models. And mostly, we give our users peace of mind and security because we are regulated by financial authorities and their money is protected by a SIPC insurance. Now, let's talk about the market. According to a recent study, our industry will hit $1 trillion in assets under management this year, 2020. Who is going to use our service? We know there are 40 million 18 years plus Hispanics living in US. From those, almost 6 million live in Florida. And with a 9.09% conversion rate for fintech companies, we can obtain 500,000 daily active users in our first 3 years of operation. How are we going to reach them? Basically by social media, bloggers, influencers, traditional advertising, press releases, and mainly Latinos associations in Florida, like these ones. But how we make money? Basically, we have three tiers. After the suggestions of my board of directors and making multiple experiments and interviews, we decided to offer only 3 service tiers. Freemium, you can enroll for free, read educational material, and mainly watch the portfolio performance. So you will feel FOMO, fear of missing out, while you see how the portfolio is growing and you didn't put your money to work. Entry level, for accounts with up to $5,000, we charge $2.99 per month. Statistics show that 80% of our users will be in this tier. VIP level, for accounts with more than 5,000, we charge 1% annually, and that's it, around 0.08% monthly. 20% of our users will be in this tier. Do we have competitors? Sure we have, but we like competition. It makes us better and improve every day. How are we going to measure our success? Basically, daily app downloads, daily activation, daily deposits, engagement and retention rates, customer satisfaction polls, and customer reviews and feedback. Here we have some of our financials that we can go deeper later. And from here, where are we going?
Time.
Man, I need like 7 minutes, come on.
No.
Okay.
It's open up. So
let me
comments or
go for the
questions.
screen.
Ali has some
Where
comments.
Ready?
Okay, so the entry level is the balance up to 5,000, but you have it as an initial investment. So that's how much should they put in initially, or like, so when you say balance, I'm a little confused because obviously as they start making money, it comes back into their account and the balance may go above 5,000 and then it'll change their level, but then it has nothing to do with the initial investment. So I just need some
Yeah.
clarification on that. You know, and I was curious as to why there needs to be, I guess, so that you have 3 different tiers, but the payment structure, I would love to see how 299 compares to a person who's doing 1% annually. I'm curious as to what that number is. What is 1% annually for a person who has $5,001? Like,
$50.
so that person's paying $50 annually divided over 12 months.
That's right.
And for just a little bit less, it was only $3 a month. Yeah?
Yeah, that's right. Remember that you suggest, I think it was you, or maybe it was you, right?
The freemium one, yeah.
And the freemium, and only 2 tiers.
Yes. Yeah.
So do you like this this way? I was thinking using IUM, that basically is the assets under management, but I don't know. Do you think that anybody will understand it?
How often are people adding to their account, and what is your cost each time they do it? I'm curious.
0.
No cost. It's computerized. It's computerized. So there's no additional cost. It's all strictly based on, I think you need something that would motivate them to keep adding. Where do you make your money? The more money they have in their account?
Just basically the monthly fee.
The monthly fee. So the more people that are using you?
That's right.
You're not making any money off of the actual investment.
No, because we are not a hedge fund, but I see that you are a client of a hedge fund. They charge 2 and 20% on the performance.
I think you really have to clear. I think that's your selling point. I think that is like my money is in an account and my person who's watching it is making a hit off of me making money. You're saying I'm going to have access to that same intelligence and I'm only paying you a monthly fee.
But at the same time, it's also a level of concern, because if your motivation is not on how much money you make, then I will feel that your best interest is not on me making money, but on me paying monthly fee.
So that has to be, some thought needs to go to that.
Yes, it's like a catch-21, right?
Because I mean, for your entry level type of customer, yes. But if your customer is if we're interested, but we start like asking these questions, like Ali or I or anybody else, William, will be like, wait, and why, and where's your motivation? And so it creates more skepticism than anything else. But again, we are not the early adopters. We might not be the early adopters, or we might be if that is clarified.
Yes, because I think that if you are a accredited investor, for example, like me, you know that this is not a service for you, that you want your advisor here with you, telling you about all the world and how it's moving.
So this will be a service for you. So this will be a service for those that have less than $25,000 or less than $5,000 in
fact, less than $1 million.
Okay, but
to be accredited, you need 1 million. So
I would like, you have your slide that tells me about you and your success in inventing things and having finance on your mind. But where's the slide that tells me an example of how much money? I know you can't offer guarantees, but like the model that shows a person who made this much of an investment on this date, what that looks like.
Hey, sweetie, how are you?
At the end of a year, like where does that show, and who is determining the investments? What's the technology behind Robinhood for me who knows nothing about that? How do I know that this is going to make money more than just be a forced savings?
Do you think that it will be useful to put those slides? Because I have them. Obviously, and as always, Gustavo said.
Yeah, but more that Ali thinks. What kind of questions have you asked your customer segment in order to know what
because
do they
it's
know?
The AI side of the business. If I tell you about clustering and machine learning and alpha. And
no, but it doesn't. It's not that I want to know. And this goes back to, again, the customer interviews and your customer segment, which is, what kind of questions did you ask to know the level of financial education in terms of investment that they have, and the level of curiosity to know the things that we're asking.
I have a slide that resumes 1 year, for example, of rebalancing that only shows the stocks that the algorithm selected during 1 year. I think that will be very useful, as you say, Ali, because
But I also
it
think
shows,
Gustavo's point is maybe me, I'm not your target audience in your slide. Your target audience might be focused on something else, and you might have discovered that by getting out and talking to the Hispanics that are 18 and over. Are they focused at a forced savings because they're spending it on something else, or they really want to make money and compete with the people who have access to these other things? Like, what are their pains, and how are you selling to them? Because for me, I'm looking at my $5,000 better be doing better than if I put it in diamonds. Right?
Exactly.
Right. So, but I'm a different, I'm not your target audience. What are their, that demographic, what are you trying to solve for them?
It is the persona that doesn't have the 25,000, that they are not accredited and they are only saving. And we want to teach them also that it's better to invest than to save. Because I can use a lot of phrases, like Warren Buffett or people like that it says, put your money in an index, take a pill to sleep, and wake up 30 years later, and you will be a millionaire. And that's a real phrase. If you did that 30 years ago, now you will be a millionaire, to be true. But I don't know if that catchy words or phrases can help here, because we're talking to the investors, right?
Yeah, Israel, I don't think it's about the quote or the phrase. I think it's about what have you been able to extract from the conversations that you have had with your early adopters to understand what is key for them to understand, which is not the same that what we need to understand.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, the most important subject is the gains, because they see that their account is not making a lot of money. Let's say a lot. What's a lot? But a lot of money, and that they don't have access to this kind of services, of strategies.
So we're talking about access.
Okay.
Give me 1 second to mute Ihor.
Yeah, it's access.
So we're talking about access. We're talking about that whatever money I put into this platform gives me more return than whatever my savings account is giving me, which is 1% a year. And that possibly I get to the point, right, through by joining this, to get educated enough to transition into something more complex.
Specialized. That's part of the roadmap, in fact.
Well, then if you can communicate that at some point,
I like that we help you grow financially.
Okay.
I like
Diana.
First of all, I love it. I love the script. Like the fact that you told us a story, we're connected, like, characters sell everything. So like the fact that we're connected. I still don't know. So my first point was the beginning, in the same way that we wanted Lisa to take out the running nutritionist because we weren't sure if the running, what her product was. The very first slide, you're like, hi, my name is M3 Invest, and you're the M3 Investments and Technologies, which really is not the product, where the product is the portfolio.
Okay.
Right.
So we changed that. Okay.
So I would take that out. Like it's important when you get to the slide where you start talking about your experience and what you built and that whole thing. And today we run M3 investments and whatever, but I don't think it needs to be your first slide as like your introduction, because that makes me think that's what I'm about to hear. That's the product I'm about to hear about.
No, the company. Okay.
Perfect. Right. What was the other thing? Oh, the other little things, because again, like I work with actors. I'm listening for the way it flows. There's a couple things. You continue pronouncing tiers, tires.
Tires.
Just be
Yes.
careful.
Yeah.
The term is catch 22, not catch 21.
I always catch it.
Do you? It's just like little things where like I've also my parents are first generation as well, so I've been correcting them my whole life. I'm like, that's how you say
No,
that.
that's nice.
And my other friends' parents are gonna laugh at you. What else? The copy, the narrative. Oh, I still don't know what makes you different, especially when you got to your competitors. You're like, oh, who are my competitors? Yeah. And then like 20 other companies show up and you're like, okay, well then you're just another company doing the same exact thing. Yeah, go back to the one that looks like an atom. Yeah, that one.
So you think that we should focus only on micro investing apps and take the other, not to make some noise?
Or maybe like the little green words, the like online brokers, hedge funds, because then like make those words bigger.
Mm-hmm.
As in like, do we have competitors? Yes, these are our competitors. Like even when Ali was saying about like to make the distinction of how you're clearly not, a hedge fund and you're clearly not this. Like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I didn't understand that. When you say like, do we have competitors? It kind of looks like all of these companies rather are your competitors, and they may be doing different things, but I still don't know what makes you different.
That we combine basically all those what, Gustavo?
Maybe then put a sentence like that.
Like write that
sure, we
down.
have competitors.
Exactly.
And like, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
Smart.
if you did the grid version,
Yes,
the one that goes sideways that has characteristics, then you
Of a stock.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's really important to mention as well, and even maybe use Warren Buffett, that one stock is $260,000, and now you can buy a fraction of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think just explaining actually what it does would help people also to understand the magnitude of what you're bringing to them.
Mm-hmm. I like that one. The comparison. Okay.
And
Fractional stocks.
also, excuse me, Ali, I'm sorry. The last one is, I know William gave you the suggestion of bring Wall Street to your pocket, but that's mulled in my mind quite a bit. Women kind of don't use their pockets. Men do, but everybody uses a wallet. And bringing Wall Street to your wallet, I think would be much better than to your pocket.
Diana only uses Coach, so.
Boom shakalaka.
Diana thinks name brands are dumb.
Okay.
By the way, have you guys seen the last commercial of Nike? I love it, but that's aside. That's another topic.
Which one?
You send us a link in the chat.
So wallet instead of pocket.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Final comments.
I have one more, but is that who else? Terry, are you done? Is Terry done?
No, well, just that, it rhymes, bringing Wall Street to your wallet.
Mm-hmm.
That rhymes, but has a better fit with the two W's.
Alliteration.
There you go.
Now I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, back to your pay scale, your 3 tiers, your tires.
Tiers, yeah.
You mentioned that one of your mission is, or one of the pains is helping people save. Like that's something that you've heard is something that people are looking for assistance with. So if your freemium model doesn't allow them to have access to the readings and articles and stuff like that, and your next one unlocks that, I wonder if your VIP level or A level would allow a forced savings, like a reminder to keep adding, or a subscription type of a model where we're automatically going to charge you a set amount, $5. Like in other words, link it to your account, and we are automatically going to keep taking $5, $10, whatever that they choose, and you've unlocked that level. So that's a forced savings.
To upsell, to make like an upsell, you mean?
Yeah, like if you said, an example, if you took the same $5 you spent a week on Starbucks and you didn't spend it, but you invested it, at the end of a year, you would have saved X amount of dollars, invested it, possibly made 5% on that investment. And now, instead of having Starbucks once a week, it would have been equal to this. Sign up
Okay.
for this tier, and we're going to take a monthly $5, $10, I mean, a weekly, or they choose it.
Like acorns.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a couple comments.
Hi,
Oh boy,
Ihor. Hey.
guys, we need to go through Ihor. We need to go through Elizabeth. So make sure to make those comments.
Quick.
Go ahead.
First of all, Israel's really nice presentation. I really liked it, and the story in
sir.
the beginning, it was just awesome. It was like, it was really good. Regarding the tiers, in my opinion, I feel like the jump between the entry level and VIP level, to me, is like kind of like feels like a big jump. Like you're entering, then all of a sudden you're VIP. So maybe you could consider Jimmy just wording it a little differently. I don't know. And I wanted to ask. So in the freemium model, you say that you're basically just reading educational materials and watching the portfolio grow and being like, oh shit, I'm missing out.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like, is it the same portfolio for everybody, or which portfolio are you actually looking at?
The same one is the same one for everybody. Yes.
Okay, so if it's either everybody making money or nobody's making money.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Worst case scenario.
Mm-hmm. Yes. the machines are wrong, but yes.
Okay, got it. It really sounds to me like a lot similar to acorns.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, like, what would you say the main difference between you and acorns? Like, one very something.
Okay,
like,
just one phrase, so Gustavo can continue. But basically, for example, Better Wealth, they use Markowitz strategies that are fundamental, and Acorns only use 4 or 5 ETFs. So everybody's doing classic investment strategies, and this is disruptive AI investment strategies. Nobody's doing machine learning. Nobody is doing machine learning for these kind of portfolios. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't E-Trade do it?
Nope.
I think they recently opened the service, and I know I opened the account with them that automatically.
Neither Titan. Neither Titan is doing machine learning. The only product in the market right now that you can access is an AIQ ETF, but you have to have a brokerage account, and then you buy the product, etc. And in fact, in our roadmap, that's what we were going to show, that the next product is list an ETF in the Nasdaq.
I see.
Yes, and everybody will go to ring the bell, okay?
Okay. So here you go. Are you ready, Israel?
Yeah, ready.
Story. So I like how we started. I agree with Diana in terms of just talk about tu billetera or tu bolsillo. ¿Cómo es que? What's the name?
Wallet.
Tu wallet, tu billetera?
Tu billetera, tu cartera.
Tu cartera. No. But what's the name of the product? What's the name?
Tu portfolio. Tu portfolio.
Tu portafolio.
Portfolio. So you can say in Spanish or in English.
Okay, tu portfolio. Okay, so I will stick with that. I would like to learn more about. If you can go to the slides to. Yeah. Sure. Go up. More.
Vision.
More. Go up.
Up.
All the way.
Yeah. Okay. Here we.
Yeah, number 3. I would like to learn more about in what stage of life are they? What's their goals in terms of? Yeah, I know that they learned through some friends that they were investing, but I don't know what stage of life are they? They just like a new family, they just had a baby, they just graduated, or they already like they are stable right now, their kids already in high school, and they have paid, I don't know, half of their mortgage. They are professionals, they are executive, they are directors, they are C-level. I would like to learn more about their stage
Okay.
of their lives. um I like the fact that you talk about the mission and the vision, as well as the team. And if we can go to the solution, I like the way you identify the value proposition, the main value proposition. I think you got a lot of feedback on things that you need to highlight on this slide as well. Um, the market, when you start explaining the market, where's the source? So that comes from an article. What's the source of that article?
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry, it's a Strata Vista. Yeah, sources.
you have to just to put it there at the bottom of the slide. Okay. um when you talk about, yeah, when you talk
Like this
about
one.
the target market, okay, a try to simplify. So instead of putting me all the numbers, just put 40 and then right, 40 million US Hispanics, 18 years
Like
plus.
this?
Correct.
Okay.
2 M's. um
Space
eh,
or without space?
yeah.
Okay.
Same with Florida.
Let's round up.
Yeah. uh, and then I would like to learn more about them. Okay, who they are, what stage of their life they are in. And so, because here it's basically like any kind of Hispanic, and we know that that's not the case. um and in terms of the channels, it's too generic. Okay, again, just like I mentioned to Lisa, it is important to understand what's the logic behind it. So when you say social media advertiser, it doesn't tell me anything. Bloggers and influencers doesn't tell me anything unless you show me like for example, Julio Cañas, that's an influencer. Okay, and you tell me like, why Julio Cañas? Okay, so and I will capitalize on the organizations that you have over here. Okay, I will start with that. Uh, uh, yes, you mentioned it, so it's important in terms of the pronunciation. So tiers. Also, you have in one of the titles how we make money. Instead, it should be in terms of how do we make money. I know that you were making a statement, but instead, try to ask it in a question. Uh, in terms of the tiers, I think it's important for you to put a little bit more of thought of explain why someone would like to be freemium. So why would someone want to have access to the educational component? And so maybe you want to have a section that says like target market, a column that says like target market or customer, and then you have the skeptics, which start by the freemium. You have the entry level, you have the curious, right? And then the VIP level, you have like all in, like, and I'm just giving you random kind of names, but it's to do hyper segmentation of your early adopter, in order to for me to understand um, like the skeptics or whatever name you want to put it. Why will someone is going to download an app or go to a platform just to see what they're missing out, or just to learn about more information about financial investment? It was not clear to me when you mentioned that it's just one fund. Uh, at least, if, for example, Acorns allows me to choose between the levels of risk. Um, and then if we're talking about something more specific like Vanguard or my 401k, I can see like what are the components of my portfolio. So I don't know if that was clear to me, but at the same time, I don't know if that's something that your audience is gonna be curious
Mhm.
about, and I don't know if something that they're gonna ask you. But I think you need to put a little bit of thought in case they ask you that question.
And I will tell you the truth. The only difference when they ask you those questions and it says adverse to risk, intermediate, or risk, the only difference is the amount of bonds, US bonds that they invest. So they divide instead of 100 in stocks, they do 80 and 20, 70 and 30, 60 and 40.
All right,
That's the
but
only difference.
that's an opportunity for people to learn, right?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
So, what is a bond?
Uh-huh.
What is a private companies? What is a public traded? So, for them to understand what's a short, what kind of shorts ETFs exist out there. So, it is an opportunity for them to start learning. So, at least that's
That's
the
right.
added value with the freemium. Then I will
Mm-hmm.
understand why. That's important. Why that's why it's important to understand the target market with the kind of revenue model that you have. And last but not least, in the metrics, remember, go back, try to simplify, no, the financials.
Yes. No, yeah,
Simplify
sure.
this.
Mm-hmm.
Financials headline instead
Mm-hmm.
of title. Simplify this. You can have this as a complementary slide.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the metrics, tell me what are your metrics. Not just
Okay.
name
Okay.
it, but tell me
Okay.
what are your metrics.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. That's it for now. Thank you.
No, thank you for your feedback, team. You are the best board of directors that I have already have in
Well,
my life.
don't forget 3% for each and every one of us. Uh-huh.
And ringing the bell in 2024.
Amen.
I like
Amen.
it. You've gone up to 3%. I like it. I like it.
Of course.
Oh,
I'm not here just because. Just because.
for fun. For fun. This is not for fun. Show me the money.
Ihor, where is Ihor? Your turn.
Let me stop sharing. Let's go, Ihor. Show me the money.
I'm here. Let's see. Share screen. Can you guys see?
Not yet. Yes, now we can. The other thing, I'm glad I didn't hear anything about AI.
What? Oh, about AI?
No, yeah, I'm
No.
with Israel.
Just one time. Just one time.
Yeah, but it was
But
like very.
it was. That's.
Good. Okay, Ihor. Let me know when you're ready.
I put my own timer too, so I can see. It's 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready. Hello, everybody. My name is Ihor, and my friend here is Oleg, and we would like to present today Flex. With Flex, we are on a mission to create a better, more connected, stronger, and welcoming community of athletes with an easy-to-use mobile app that saves time and effort to search events and connect with like-minded people. So why Flex? Flex, the endurance sports events are scattered across different websites and platforms, which lack social aspect, but it doesn't have to be that way. How are we making the difference? We are focused on user experience and social needs of athletes, helping to achieve their goals with the latest technology solutions. So Flex is an easy-to-use mobile app with the power to connect and create your dream team before the event even started. Meet Jenna. Jenna is a 32-year-old athlete. She's goal-oriented, she's adventurous, she likes to explore, she likes to travel, and she likes to challenge herself. Jenna likes to attend the endurance sports events, but she has certain pains, and those are as forming a team or finding people before the event to run with, the cost of the ticket, and fear of not finishing or being perceived weak. Some of the gains is of the Flex is it will allow to meet like-minded people and share experience and achievements with friends. something that Jenna would say is, I wouldn't call myself a serious athlete, but I strive to do my best or reach a higher level of fitness. Our market is pretty big, and it has been growing steadily over the years. The total market is about 20 million people, and we are targeting 100,000 athletes. That's based on Wikipedia and the amount of users similar apps have. We have competitors. Some of them are not like athletes; they're not active anymore. Their application is not working, and they took it down from the both app and Google Play. There's also Strava, which is more focused on clubs and tracking runners. It doesn't offer the event search. And there's active.com, which does have a pretty good list of events, but it doesn't have a social aspect. Neither does it have a mobile app. Our revenue streams are in-app purchases, ticket and merchandise sales commission, and ads revenue. The expected revenue from all three streams after 3 years in service is close to 2 million. Our biggest operational expenses are the hosting fees for the application, which we plan to use Google's Firebase. You can think of it as a cloud environment where the app is running, and that will be our biggest cost. And we also have some one-time costs like the initial app development, legal costs, and then we also have ongoing maintenance. So basically just paying developers to support the app. We will not be profitable in the first year, but over the span of second and third year, we should be profitable, and at the third year, our profit should be around $1 million. How we measure success? That's by number of paying users, number of sold tickets and merchandise, and click-through rate and cost per click percentage, which is related to the ad revenue. On the team is me, myself. I'm a software engineer with a computer science degree. I'm a founder of CodeSpace Inc., which is a Florida-based corporation for custom software development. And I'm also a runner myself. I completed the Spartan race trifecta. And my partner is Ole. He's also a software engineer and entrepreneur. He has vast experience working with rapidly expanding unicorn startups in disruptive markets. And he was also a winner of the Startup Weekend and Hackathon. Thank you.
Okay, 26 seconds left. Diana raised her hand, so let's start with Diana. By the way, Diana, is Diana? Yeah, Diana, right? Yes, okay.
As opposed to?
No, sorry, I got confused. Yes, I didn't read the whole thing.
I mean, it's Diana in Spanish, but.
Yeah.
So I think number one, my feedback was that, so overall, I don't think the pitch is proving that you have a company that's going to withstand the test of being out there in the market with a million other dating apps, whatever, we all had this, right? Everybody got the feedback of like a compare and contrast column graph where you're like, here are the competitors. You could go to meetup.com, you have Facebook groups, you have whatever, here are all the other competitors, because what's preventing, or, like you're going into a space where it's like this, it sounds right now like a good idea, but not enough to disrupt anything. And you want to make a stronger case for it, both in your written script and in the slides itself. So maybe adding a slide that really talks about that, because you're just kind of presenting something that's like, and it sounds average. It even sounds average in your vocal energy. Like you don't seem very excited about the product that you're about to like kick ass with. I think every single slide needs a picture, even though like a graph or whatever is a picture, it needs to have like something, put it in the background. Like Canva allows you to put something, you can fade it into the background or something. It needs to have some color, something eye-catching. The profit loss, when you said like, we're not going to make money in year one. Maybe just kind of, you can present the information, but just say like, we'll be profitable by the 18-month mark or something, like saying something that is positive, is reflecting a positive outlook on it. Then there was a graph slide. I guess it's like 8 or 9. Yeah, 9.
This one?
9. That
Chart.
I don't
6.
know if, I think it was like too much information, but I didn't know how this, how the expenses why they needed to be broken down, in a sense of like, we have, whatever the bottom line is, whatever, if it's, we have $50,000 of expenses and, combined, comprised of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know, as an investor, like, I want to know what your expenses are, but I don't know that I need to see it broken down
Like too much
on a
granularity.
slide, instead of just like, then like, on the second date, then you're like opening up a portfolio and here's everything. But on the first date, it's like, just cut, just want to know the basics. That was my similar, yes. And you used the word similar app. And I couldn't think of anything else that was like this. I guess I don't understand my own note, but there was a mention of like a similar app.
The competitors.
Instead of mentioning that,
in 7.
that app.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ali.
I'm building on Diana's. So I think that if perhaps you told a story as to why you came up with the concept, perhaps because you're new to the country, you were participating in a sport, you experienced such pains, you realize there's other people with those pains, you research the market and you realize there was a company, Athlinks, whatever, but they're no longer there because of this. You found this other company, but they don't have social. And now you've decided to solve, using your experience, because your background is software, you've decided to solve this problem. I think if we told it in a story, there'd be enthusiasm, even if you made the story up. But like, you guys are athletes. There are companies, that maybe we don't know if we're not athletes. And I'm curious, like, why isn't Athlinks there anymore? What have you learned from their failure? What are you changing that's going to make this more successful? How awesome is active, but the fact that you can't meet other people as an athlete sucks, And so like, if you could explain that to me in a story as to how you're now solving this huge problem, I'm there, I'm with you, and I think that is very similar to where Diana was going.
Thank you.
Hey, go ahead, Israel.
I
Then
think,
Lisa.
yeah, okay. I think in slide 6, you have to put the M's as Gustavo told me, because just like saying 20 mm, I think so. Am I right, Gustavo? So the audience understand the contraction.
Right.
You mean 20 million?
20
graph?
In the graph, 20 mm.
Yeah, but I have that question, because, for example, in my company, for millions we use M. So I don't know if the right thing is MM or M, but in our company, which is a global company, we always use M for millions.
I'm not a native USA citizen, so I don't know.
No.
Diana, no.
I know. That's why I'm asking the
Yes.
US native people, because like in my company.
Hey, natives, tell us.
Yeah, for millions is MM. Sorry.
It's more used the MM.
No, I think that I had the same mistake, and someone corrected me here, but I never have asked a US person.
Let's Google it.
Yeah.
What would the second M stand for? I thought it was M, but what would the second? I thought when Gustavo. Yeah, when Gustavo corrected you, I thought that was like a financial term, like because Israel happened to be dealing with
money
in the finance industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like multi-millions. But if you were Just speaking
I'm,
like a
I'm gonna
general
share
term, it's
my,
just
I'm gonna
M
share my
million.
screen. Give me 1 second. I think it might be related to the financial world. Give me 1 second. I lost Zoom platform now. Give me 1 second. Let's see, super small.
And in the same graph, I heard maybe the growth,
Igor.
it says, sorry, Igor. I have a problem with the I. Okay. The growth, you mentioned yearly, right? 600% yearly, or I heard that one?
From 2011 to 2017.
Okay. Maybe, I don't know, just to clarify that 600% last 5 years or?
Can you guys see my screen?
No.
No.
We're watching.
Did I
Igor.
stop sharing?
You need to stop sharing.
I see it.
There.
So it's a rare form. You can see it here. It's more used in the financial world, I will say. The MM, but
Okay.
it says North America M. But in the rare forms, you have the MM, which is more towards the financial
World.
language or type of abbreviation. So
I like the double M.
The Latin numeral, it's M. Does MM is the same writing. Multiply. I think because we're talking about numbers, which is directly related to finance, and finance people will know what that means.
I disagree.
If it's about dollars, I will put MM. If it's about people, units, I will put M. But Diana disagrees.
I think that you're talking to your audience. Your language is always geared to your audience, and your audience is going to be people that don't necessarily, like you have to go with the most widely used term.
So let's use M.
In my case, it was the number of US Hispanics. So
yeah,
I think
let's use M. I think it's a safe bet to use M. But again,
so in our last class, we have to bring wine and M&Ms against Lisa's preference.
Reese's M&Ms.
Lisa will have to cover her eyes, and then we'll have to go run a sporting event with our guys from Flex.
A lot of colors in your diet. So yes,
we have time for Elizabeth. So who was speaking? Israel? Yes.
No. I finished my comment.
Okay. Anyone else?
I mean,
go ahead, Lisa. Yes.
So, well, it was a really nice presentation. I liked your pictures at the end. It was nice and professional to see you that way. You know, I still struggle a little bit with what you're trying to do, especially in light of none of the races are really running these days. So I wonder if you could integrate this, you know, new world of COVID piece, this personal, you know, connection, people not isolating from home. That why does it always have to be about the, you know, the competitive part or meeting at the race itself? And then I also think that that it would be helpful to have some influencers in that group, some high profile athletes, even if they're local, like celebrities, because people that are just getting into something really like to be around, you know, the popular, you know, the people who race money. They even just to hear them, you know, speak or be on the same, you know, social media, you know, platform, and you know, so I wonder if there's some ways to integrate some other things so that it's more, that it has more sell to it other than just meeting up at a race. Just my, I think it could have some traction, but it needs a little bit more plant-based meat to it.
Like a punchline, Lisa, you mean?
No, it's more about the community, that value that has more about a community vibe. I think Lisa has been mentioning this from the very beginning. Like, okay, yeah, you go meet people, but what happens like after the race, right? Like, are you gonna be able to hang out, create a community with people, like belong to a group? Like when people see that, it's like, whoa, what's that? I want to be part of that. And that's what's gonna attract new customers for the next race. So.
Maybe take ideas from this book, The Tribe, that everybody wants to belong to a tribe.
Correct.
Right.
Hmm.
Right. But there's certain things that attract, like the, sponsors, getting freebies and then getting to be around the cool people, even if you offer them, I don't know, but pay for their races, to be there and show up to your tent, have after race refreshments, what have you. But even meet up in terms of training, like why wait for the races to start? Because that might not be for a while.
Yeah, that's great feedback.
Or maybe even some kind of trading secrets or something.
Trading secrets.
Yeah, like, race secrets, like, I twist my Achilles heel 3 times around or something. Maybe, like that. That's now what we're doing in class, but actually kind of people getting together online and sharing, again, their little training secrets, that sort of thing.
That would be cool. I know, for example, in Tough Mudder, there is a part where you go in a tunnel and you have like electricity on top of you. So if you go up, you get a shock. And at the same time, if you're touching someone that is getting shocked, you get shocked too. So I would have loved to know that before that happened to me, like 15 times in a period of 1 minute. So that would be cool.
Is there a way to find out during COVID who the most like downloaded or who's leading the most Zoom classes in at-home workouts? Like, specifically maybe the CrossFit kind or something like that. Is there a way to figure that out? Because that would be like a great influencer to partner with, or to drop your name, or just to test that link, let that be their social network. Like, what if one of them has 500,000 followers already? I mean, that's a reasonable number. And then you let them test your platform as a way that their users could all communicate.
I mean, I would go to the big names. I would go to, Zumba Strong Nation. I would go to OT, Orange Theory. I would, I CrossFit, just, and then just see who has, most followers. Because some of those folks have a lot of followers.
Okay, I want to make sure we have enough time for Elizabeth. Ihor, here's some of my feedback. Text, too much text on the slides. Remember, those things you can always communicate to us. You don't need to have that text on the slide. Images, it is important for you to bring this to real life. What do I mean with that? Pictures of you, or pictures that you have of the competitions, just like Jane. So that way I can picture from the very beginning, what are you talking about? Why is it important to be in a community? Pictures of people running in groups, going through the obstacles, how they're helping each other when they see the walls, for example. So only people that have done that know the importance of being with someone, unless they see it in pictures. So like, I'm pretty sure you have pictures of it now. If you go to my Facebook page, there's an album of Tough Mudder, and you'll see all my journey when I did one of those races, like how important it was to have a team with us, like how we crossed the finish line all together, like 12 people running together and getting electrocuted together. So like, if you don't see the pictures, you're not gonna be able to understand the feeling of that, like jumping through fire together. Like, so it is important to bring pictures on that. Diana just put a website there, like a
I
bank of
actually do
images.
have pictures of my team that we ran together, and
So
like you mentioned.
exactly, combine that with what Ali mentioned. Like, what is it about you? Like, I love your picture, by the way. Great headshot. Which Olive will need a picture like your quality, because you can see the difference in quality between your picture and Olive's. I know your picture is for Tinder, and his, I don't know, something that he had on Facebook or Instagram. So instead of that, what about a picture of you guys where you have in action, and then you tell, because you are your own customer, right? So we learned this. This is what we suffer, and it was totally different experience when we did it by ourselves than when we did it with a group. So it's something that you need to bring it back to reality. Your how is your what. What you said on your how is your what. You need to elaborate on your how, and I think there's where you have the opportunity to introduce your story. How we do it by connecting people. How you do it by creating a community. How you do it, so you need to work on the slide that you have the how. What you said over there, that's your what. So you need to change what you say on that slide. Based on the customer lifestyle. Okay. When we go to the market, again, I think Israel already said it, to make the abbreviation of it. I want you, I'm going to challenge you. When you said the 100,000, the target market, you said based on Wikipedia. That sounds like an university project, and if you were my student, I will fail you. So I will rather you tell me that based on the customer interviews, based on the pattern, based on the statistics, based on the amount of people that register for challenge obstacle races that are from Florida, you came up with that number. But it's not just because of Wikipedia says. Or if not, tell me what are the insights that the report of Wikipedia says. Yeah. Competitive diagram. So when you mentioned the competitors, you mentioned that they fail. I want to know why they fail. If I was an investor, I'm going to ask you, why did they fail? So if they fail, why aren't you going to fail? And you should know exactly the reason why each of them fail. And how are you going to be able to climb that ladder? Why did your competitor expense? Yeah, you don't need the expense, a complete detail. What you have the graphs of the 3-year graphs. I agree with the way you frame the message in terms of the first year we're going to lose money. No, we're going to make an investment of this amount of money in order for second and third year to have this to achieve this level of profit. In terms of the paying users, I have the same question again for someone. If I put myself in the shoes of someone that has never heard about this, and the revenue models, you said paying users. What is a paying user? It is the one that pays for the merchandise. It is the one that buys a ticket. What is the one that pays for the premium version? So that's not clear when you mention the paying user. And pictures. I couldn't emphasize more about bring this to the real life based on pictures. Okay.
Okay.
Elizabeth.
Right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Let me share.
Well, you share. Let me I'm gonna be back real quick. Give me 1 second.
Ihor, he's going to charge you the 3% for his photos.
So who presented today? Diana and Lisa and Israel?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry I missed it, but you know, they called me to this meeting in the last minute.
Where did you work, Elizabeth?
Nokia.
Ah,
We create the technology to connect the world.
Yes, you create the routers that are below the antennas so we can have our conversations.
No, we create actually everything. I mean, we have mobile access equipment, fixed access, IP and optical networking, global services, software. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff.
My first cell phone with mobile services, like internet services, was a Nokia, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, the phones that you see today as Nokia, we don't manufacture them, but we sell the royalties for using the brand.
Yes, I know. And those were, obviously I'm talking about 2000, year 2000, but those GSM phones were the best.
Perfect, yeah.
So,
Okay.
Allie, you're not presenting tonight? No? Okay.
I've pivoted.
Now she sells diamonds.
Make sure on Tuesday you have the evidence on.
Of my pivot?
Yeah. A list of a letter of intention.
Elizabeth.
NDA before the presentation.
Elizabeth, 5 minutes, okay, and then you have the rest for Q&A.
Okay, so, perfect.
Whenever
so
you're
I am sure that I will have more than 5 minutes, but let's go for it. Okay, so good afternoon. My name is Elizabeth Bravo, and I am the founder of Abuelos 2.0. The reason why I created Abuelos 2.0 is because I realized how difficult and scary could look the technology, tablets or iPad for seniors. And at the same time, I was able to wisdom how proud and empowered they feel when they learn how to do something with their devices. And I learned all this when I gave an iPhone to my mom, and I also learned that I was not being effective in explaining how to use it. And this is how the idea came about creating a solution simplifying technology usage learning for seniors specifically through simple to understand instructions in flashcards complemented with audios. Going from the simplest, the more simpler function in the iPhone to the most popular applications nowadays. Okay, so that was my experience, but you know, my mom was not sufficient experience, so I did like a lot of interviews, not only to seniors, but also to relatives of seniors about if that is the same case for everyone, and the response was unanimous, sorry, and everybody like was a relative felt that it was difficult to explain technologies to their older relatives, and the senior people feel that, you know, technology is overwhelming, but they love it and they would like to learn more. And this is also backed up by statistics by Pew Research Center that indicates that 75% of senior Americans need help whenever they are trying to use a new device. So that's why Abuelos 2.0 has a vision of enable seniors to embrace technology so that they can get and enjoy all the benefits of a digital life. Now let's talk about the journey through technology that the seniors have. So in the white side, they feel that they are behind in technology, they forget things, there are too many steps, and this is associated with an emotion of fear about technology. But on the other hand, when they are able to learn how to use the technology, they feel that they are able to connect, that they have autonomy, pride, knowledge, and power. So that's why for me it's very inspiring to work in Abuelos 2.0. So what kind of people would like to receive an Abuelos 2.0? Well, also through my interviews, I learned that not only the seniors that are users of smartphones or tablets would like to use it and to learn how to use this easily, but also the relatives, you know, the children, the grandchildren that that feel frustrated when they are not able to explain technology to their parents. It will be like a good help to have this tool for their parents. So I call the Guillermos and the Dianas of the world. So basically, oh, sorry. Okay, so basically the product will be like this. We will have, we will have a phase one, which will be a flashcard deck with step-by-step instructions for the basic functions of the iPhone. Is my first product, and then per application. and I will go to that in a minute. And this will be complemented with audio that could be in SoundCloud or Alexa, which is a new pivot that I am evaluating. And the phase 2 will be the app emulating the same card deck to help your relatives to follow the same instructions that the senior people are checking, okay? So basically, this will be the first pack that has 60 cards already with basic functions of the iPhone. And then we will have per application packs with the applications that are more popular and more desired by our seniors. Even though I will need to add 2 here that I found out with a market research on this topic, which are gaming, that seems that seniors are very fans of gamers, and also shopping of grocery and all that kind of stuff. So the market, how big is the opportunity? Well, we have 72 million senior people in North America, that is the TAM, and we will have 5.7 million in Florida, which is the market I decided to start. And from there, just the 75% people that say that they will need help with the phones or using any new device. And how do we make money? Well, the basic function flashcard, the per application flashcard, and the Abuelos 2.0 application download. And maybe you are wondering what the Abuelos are doing right now? Well, they are looking into books, into courses, into relatives and friends. Okay.
Time.
Yeah, I knew that it was not going to be enough time.
Okay, now let me ask you the following question. Why did you know that it was not going to be enough time?
Well, first, because I didn't practice it with time, and second, because I had too many slides.
Okay. I think it's more because of the first one.
Okay.
That it didn't allow you to create a flow of the presentation that would allow you to avoid redundancies. There were a lot of redundancies.
Okay.
But we're gonna go with Ali first. Lisa, do you have comments, or is that from the past?
No, I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're gonna go Ali, Lisa, Diana.
Okay.
I think that the product is really relatable, and it's possible that your story is too long in the beginning, because even if you were to ask like 3 questions, how many of you have ever tried to explain to a parent or an older relative how to blah? How many of you have had them repeat the same questions? How, well, I've been in your shoes and therefore I've created the following solution. I feel like, boom, you would have been done and you would have had so much extra time on the back end, because we're already with you, we were late. So that would be my suggestion.
Okay, thank you, Ali. It's a good suggestion.
Lisa?
Yeah, well, I've loved this since the beginning. I think it's such a great concept. And I love the story, and I love some of the graphics. But I found, just like the comments were back to me, that there were a lot on the slides. And some of the fonts were hard to read. And maybe just a little bit lighter of a background.
Okay.
And, even for older people, I don't know if they're into like the drama of Black backgrounds, maybe a little bit lighter, like, I don't know, whatever, dark blue, purple. It's just, so visually, there was a lot on each of the slides, which I don't remember on your previous presentations that you had all that information. But I love this. I really want to see it out there someday. So
thank you.
Good
Not
job.
someday, soon, in the next 2 weeks.
No
Diana.
stress though. No stress.
Oh, I do put some stress on her.
Yeah. Well, I have to tell you something, Gustavo, that I already did the launch of the Instagram account on the webinar, despite the fact of my fear of the competition. So I already did that this week.
Was that the thing with Troy? No?
No.
Oh, okay.
My turn? Yes. I was going to agree for sure that I think your lead in was too long. Like, agree with everyone else's comments. Like your lead in was too long and it was repetitive. So it's fairly simple once you define what your product is. Like everyone gets it because everyone is already, I think everyone's had the pain. Everyone is your early adopter. So the minute you mention it, everyone knows what you're talking about anyway. But yeah, your lead in took a lot of time. And we were like stuck on that first slide to the point where I was like, is it frozen on my end or her end or everyone's end, you know? So yeah, if you want to just cut to that, which is repeating what everybody else said. Is the, which is a great option when you get to the additional features for Instagram, Spotify, whatever, all of the additional, so is that an additional cost to the consumer?
Yes.
It is. I didn't see where that was. So like if I wanted to, like the tutorial for Facebook, it's an extra whatever dollar, or, you know, however, is it an extra set of cards? So like,
yes,
this set of cards teaches you how to use your phone, period. How to set your alarm clock and like the basic functions of a phone. And then is there another deck of cards that also teaches people the individual apps, and are those individual apps an additional cost to the consumer?
Yeah, I didn't reach to that slide, but here is like the basic deck will be $29.99 and the individual per app deck will be $9.99.
Got you. But so all of the apps are an additional, like they're all in there.
No, per app, because then you can pick and choose. I want Instagram.
$10 for my Facebook, $10 for this, $10 for each additional thing.
Yeah, because my point is that perhaps not everybody will like to you know, to master everything. No, sometimes they would like to learn just one thing at a time. And you know, this year I can learn Instagram, next year I can learn Facebook or whatever. But yeah, that could be a lower price, but this is like
no lower price.
Okay.
My last question, which I honestly comes up every single time you present, is what's prevented Apple, Android, whatever, each individual company from coming up with, from already creating something like this? I know that the Apple Store has like come in and take classes and whatever, but like, I don't know how popular those are. What's preventing, why hasn't someone done this already? Because everyone you talk to has this pain point. I think it's, whether you know the answer or not, I think it's an important point to bring up. I think it's an important discussion point to address somehow. Like, well, why isn't you know, any of these companies doing it already, and why isn't I guess I don't know how to phrase this, Gustavo. It's like, because I don't want to put the fear in you of like, well, what's preventing somebody from stealing your idea? But once it's already out there, is there the potential? Can we phrase it in a way where there's the potential for a larger fish to come in and buy, you know, your product?
Go ahead, Elizabeth. How will you answer to that?
I like that people copy me. But I would love that they try to copy me and to buy me, because that means that the product is good and can be improved. So that is one. But the second one about why Apple or Android have not done that, I definitely have the answer for Apple. Remember that Apple, their whole philosophy is that their devices are so easy to use that they don't need like instructions. And what I think is that they are directing their products to a younger generation, because perhaps they don't see that this older generation will spend or will be interested in that much. That's my personal feeling, because they have a lot of instructions, but you know, they are too complex and they are not adapted to the learning mode of the elder people.
I think that's the big selling point, though. Like, if you're looking for investment, I think the fact that you've researched the market, you know what's out there, and there is nothing that's geared to an elderly. You know, you can't call a help hotline if you're hard of hearing. You know, you've researched and with your own mom to teach her how to use her phone, you had to make icons, and you gave her the sheet, and that way she could look at it. And then you realize, wow, I'm onto something. I'm going to make this for everyone, and I've studied the market, and this is how. You know, they stop calling you with their questions. You know, that is where you're different than what's already out there. And if research shows that having a card in front of you, it's the same way you teach a kid.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. What's the average age of a product developer at Apple?
Age, like
20, 20 something.
21, 22?
How old's Ihor? Ihor, how old are you?
In fact, I think that's only because they can't hire nobody below 18.
I think it's mid to upper 20s, if not early 30s.
So that person will never have the understanding and the empathy level that the senior population needs in order to make their products as simple to use or as intuitive as they think it is. The products are intuitive for the target population that are within that spectrum of whatever a child that is born, that is born with already
Technology.
passing the pages like this, to that population that is 65 or 60 years old. But beyond that, the demographics of their population that develops the products for software or for hardware, it is not there. Therefore, you need to explain that level of details. It's about empathy. It's about demographics in terms of the product development side. And it's also about the core activities of those companies. Those companies are not here to develop card decks or videos or tutoring for the products. Yes, they have it, but it's not their core activity. That's why they're not gonna just put their money there. And if they put it, it's better because that will just broaden the market.
Yeah, and also, you know, I have a super interesting interview today with a person that do market research with this segment. And, you know, it was a great interview. Of course, she also will offer me like market research. But you know, she gave me so many insights about how these people, you know, the main barriers that they have faced, even that they don't like that much the technology at the beginning, but now after COVID, that they are like super in the technology because they have seen that this is the way to keep connection with their beloved ones. So she's conducting right now like this research on seeing how they are adopting the technology after COVID-19. So it was like a very good call that I have with this lady today.
You know, one of the things that frustrates me is like if you give somebody a phone, like if I give my parents a piece of expensive electronics and then they're frustrated with it and they get mad at me, it's like so upsetting because I just spent so much money on something I thought would have made everything better. And here I am now the bad guy. So it's almost like it really needs to be marketed as a package deal. Don't set yourself up for that phone call of like, your mom and I have been upset. Like, you know, just give this pack along with it because we have the success. I mean, it's. I want 4%. You're gonna have it.
I want to make sure Diana finish with her comments.
Yeah.
I'm good. Yes, thank you.
Israel?
That I agree with Elizabeth that the elder, they play Candy Crush as experts. So I don't know if they need the cards for gaming, but they are experts in Candy Crush. And by the way, this past Saturday, I have my first video call with my mother, and she was like almost crying because she was watching me, because we haven't seen like for 6 months. Wow. Because of this situation. I haven't been able to travel to Mexico, so she was almost crying, and she knew she met my cat. But it was a little difficult to explain her. When it rings, you will see this, and it's in WhatsApp. No, come on. What means WhatsApp? What's that kind of software? No. I only want to push the green button and answer. So I had to explain her, blah blah. But finally, we connect. So you have a client, Elizabeth.
Thank you,
Terry.
Lisa, did you want to say something? Because I thought I saw yours light up.
I did, but you go first. That's fine.
What was kind of a key when, was it Israel just said Candy Crush, or they that maybe something along that line, if you can make it a little too like that, like how Mark is doing his, like a game or something, and that helps with the retention of it for them, since they're so attracted to that Candy Crush, that maybe if there's a way that, not that it become, well, I don't even know if it becomes a game for them, or maybe something to that degree, since, you know, that just kind of dinged in my head when they said they're quite proficient in Candy Crush.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing that I have seen in there with, you know, with having something, even an app that they can use, is what I have observed, that it's very difficult for them to switch between apps to learn how to do that, how to do something. So for us, maybe it's natural, but for them, it's easier to have like a reference in the site while they are doing the stuff. So that's why I have at the beginning the idea of, you know, of an app trying to do that, but I discarded because I also tried something similar to with my mom, and that didn't work, and with other people. So, but yes, that's why the flashcard for me have like this ludic aspect, that, you know, they have nice stories in the front. For example, when the Wi-Fi was invented, and what is the Wi-Fi, or what is the cloud, like defining also odd terms that maybe not everybody knows, and then the instructions. So it's even next week I will show you how will the real company be called. Well, not defined 100% yet, and the look and feel of the cards.
Okay. Anyone else? Lisa, you had a comment.
Yeah, I mean, I said this last week, that it'd be great to see something that was like measurable, like, you know, mom and dad could remember more things, like, you know, you have a little pre-test and post-test, or, you know, you look at a group of people and see the impact. Because again, I think, and I'm happy to ask my daughter over at Apple, you know, what makes them select and pursue certain projects. They did the heart project, so they're certainly interested in health issues. You know, maybe, you know, and she doesn't tell me the secrets of what they're working on, but it would seem to me that it would be very important, with 50 million, 50M folks going to be in 25 or 30 with Alzheimer's disease, that they would want to be exploring these kinds of, programs and tools to help us and aging folks. So I'd be happy to touch base with her, but it'd be great, they have so many of these, not elderly, but 50 and over apartment buildings now. There's one right over in Dadeland, really affluent, I don't know, just take a test group of folks and just see, even if they remember terms from Facebook they didn't know before. I mean, that's improving memory. I don't, just a thought.
As a matter of fact, but I guess that all these market research are expensive. But the lady that I talked to today, she was like, okay, when you have the first version, the prototype in English, send it to me with NDA, and I can quote for you how much will cost to do the testing, because she was explaining me the whole process of questions that I should ask. For example, small stuff. Have you thought if the cards go to the floor and they need to pick them up, and perhaps you can have something to hook them all together? Things that I don't think that could be relevant. But let's see how it goes.
Awesome. Okay, Elizabeth. So here I go. Redundancy. You can revert the story. I would love to see a picture of your mom.
Okay.
With a cell phone, or I don't know, in some sort of situation, or basically you telling me this is the reason why 2.0 exists. I gave my mom this phone thinking that I was gonna kind of integrating Ali's story, right? I spent this amount of money, thought that I was gonna make their life simple, and it was actually the opposite. She started actually hating me, arguing with me, because she didn't know how to deal with it. Okay. So I would like to see that first,
Okay.
and then you tell me based on that story how what does 2.0 grow. Tell me what about, 1 second, that I don't even know what I wrote. Tell me what was challenging about her story. So when you gave her the phone, what were the challenges that she faced? Okay, what were one of the most common challenges that she faced? Too much text in some of the slides. There are some symbols that I don't understand in the initial slides, at least of the one of the audience. If you go back.
Okay.
Go back.
I am having a bad computer day today.
That's fine. That's too much. Like here on this slide, one message per slide. Okay, so phase one slide, phase two, another slide.
Okay.
Okay, remember, it's not about the amount of slide, it's about the flow of the presentation. Go back. The symbols that you have, that circle and that like infinite kind of like, that's distraction.
Okay.
And I think you have it in another slide as well.
Yeah, because that was the template. Yeah, I can remove them.
Okay. Like now that I see the font and that Lisa mentioned about how it could possibly be hard to read, the font of the title, I will consider changing, maybe, because
This one, right?
sometimes, yes,
Okay.
sometimes it is hard to read. Maybe try it and see how it looks like instead of black with a dark gray, maybe. Yeah. And that was basically it. Try to be mindful about how many elements do you have per slide. Remember, less is more. This is just a visual aid. It's about you are the presentation. So just try to be mindful about that. Okay. So we went up 13 minutes. Shanali, I'm sorry to keep you over 7 o'clock, but I'm still gonna go and go through the round and ask each and every one of you for any comments or questions that you might have about today's session. I'm gonna start with you, Lisa.
Well, I feel like I still need to do a lot of work, and I still need to do some work with the numbers anyway for next week. But I thought all the feedback was so valid. I felt exactly the same way. And if it was my like normal, kind of, presentation, I'd be so fluid and, sort of, just summarizing. And so I get a little slowed down with the terminology myself. I've just wrapped my head around it, the last few weeks after being saved by my in-house partner. So I'm really excited about next week, and I think I could put it all together. I'm looking forward to it. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure you will. Israel.
Thank you, everybody, for the feedback. On Tuesday, I'll come back with all the changes and a new template, so I can have again feedback from you. But now on the design, so it looks more, let's say, professional or more like selling. And I'll do my best this weekend. And I want a T-shirt like yours, but innovation apprentice.
we can make those. Thank you, Israel. Terry.
A lot of good feedback. I think it helped a lot of people as we are preparing for our countdown. Still consistent growth. Everybody's growing. I see. And just some questions. Are you going to go over what we're going to do on Tuesday because our final is actually on Thursday? Is that correct?
Correct. The final is on Thursday. What we're going to do on Tuesday is basically rehearse the final presentation. And then the final will be on Thursday, which is of course, I'm going to introduce the panel of judges. I'm going to explain a little bit about the program, the journey that you guys went through. And we're going to go right away into the presentations to make sure everybody has a chance to present and to feedback. And then if we have enough time, we will then make sure we do like a little ceremony where we collect some testimonials, and every one of you will get your certificate, your digital certificate online. So that's basically what's going to happen last Thursday. If you can, please reach out to Mark. I'm really concerned. I want him to have the opportunity to present. So if you know anything about him, let me know. Any other questions or comments, Terry?
No, it seems as if Elizabeth has been in contact with Mark, I believe. So perhaps, I know she said something last week about it. What about Maurice?
I try to encourage him to, to come to the class, but he apparently is like with a lot of things going on in terms of doing the MVP, and I think that he also felt frustrated a little bit with the financial part. And but let's see. Mauricio, I don't know. I talked to him, but in another topic today, and he responded. So he's alive, but I didn't ask if he was planning to present or to come.
Well, reach out to both of them, and it's okay if they don't present the financial part, but at least they are able to have the opportunity to present on the rest.
Okay.
Yeah. Diana, any comments?
No, I think everyone did a really great job. I'm happy that we discussed how to improve the slide and how it can and will look completely different from what they have been up until now, because that was my roadblock as well, was being feeling weird about the terminology. And I still learned so much. I was taking notes on your things, but even just being here taught me so much for my own things. So thank you. And you touched upon it, what you want from, I know obviously Thursday is the final, but Tuesday, I didn't get what we have to do for Tuesday?
We are rehearsing the final presentation.
So be prepared both days. Feedback, yeah. And then, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
No problem. Ali?
It was really enjoyable just watching you guys present, to be totally present and not stressing about my own. So that was great. Question regarding the pitch outline that you sent us. It didn't come up. I didn't hear anyone ask this. The backup slides, are these suggestions if we want to supplement, or do we have these slides ready if by any chance, miraculously, we get finished before our time limit, we would then go to these slides? These are just extras. If we feel our timing would permit, we could slide these ones in.
So the complementary slides are a backup for you in case you've been asked these questions. I don't want you to feel rushed to jam everything into the 5 minutes. I would rather you take the time to make the points that you want to make, spark curiosity from the audience and the judges about the information that you have in the complementary slides, and in the 5 minutes of Q&A, you refer back to that.
Okay, and I noticed that in our pitch outline, nothing referenced a 3-year model or 3-year projection. So in our own mind, we've done the exercise, we have those numbers. In the Q&A, someone might catch us and ask us a question, but in our actual presentation, do we even slide in anything about 3 years? Is that a typical thing?
Correct. So in the outline, you see how do you make money, right? So not only you mentioned about your revenue model, right? But you also mentioned, like, for example, we gave the feedback to Lisa to mention what's the profit margin for each of them. So that will be a hook for any of the judges to say, wait, okay, you mentioned how do you make money, and you mentioned what's your profit margin, but what's your projection? So then, oh, I got you. Boom, you have your 3-year. But then you don't waste time going in the presentation time talking about your expenses and so on, your assumptions about your revenue. Okay. Any other comments or questions? Okay.
I want to see Nina present. Nina, you've been with us every Thursday. I want to see something from you.
Nina, your turn. What are you going to answer about that?
I think she said she had to leave.
Yeah, she said she was leaving.
Oh, on the chat.
Mm-hmm,
Oh, yeah, I have to go.
Came back, no? Okay.
No.
No.
Shanley.
It's the 9th week. At the part, I'm sad because I'm not going to see you guys anymore. I wish I had another 10 weeks with you guys. But at the other side, I'm so happy for you guys because it's not going to be the end. Actually, it's going to be the beginning of the real thing. I'm super excited for you guys. Great job, you all. And I hope to be your clients. Good job.
Shanley's.
Thank you so much for choosing Venture Cafe Miami, because you guys could have chosen another company, another organization to host the sessions with. So super grateful.
Thank you for being there every
hosting.
single session. Yeah, for hosting, for your support, and always with that smile. So thank you so much.
My colleagues call you guys my friends, so you guys are.
And we are. Awesome. Thank you, Shanley. Elizabeth, last but not least.
Last but not least, I need to practice timing. No, but it has been very interesting, the whole process and the push, because today I was like full of many things, including quoting my AC repair. And, I thought that I was not going to make it, but I did it. And well, I'm happy and, like excited about next week to see all these, and also to finish the prototype that I have advanced a lot. So.
Awesome. Well, Ali was sending you some air.
Yeah, I have my ventilator, but tomorrow I will have my AC again.
Well, guys, if anything, I'm so happy to see so much feedback, to see how many comments and support are you getting from each other. This is just the beginning, like Shanley mentioned, not only about your journey as an entrepreneur or in these new projects or ventures that you guys are launching to the market, but also to understand the methodology and to put it into practice over and over again for either professional or personal purposes. I live by these methodologies in both my professional and my personal life. So I think it's a mindset, and I'm very happy to see that each and every one of you have embraced this mindset and embraced these methodologies in a way that now you become ambassadors for many other individuals that come to you. Now you're gonna be able to guide them also in that process. So I'm very happy for each and every one of you, and we will see each other again on Tuesday. Okay?
Gustavo, I emailed you to ask about MIT versus Babson. Did you see that email?
No, I will check it out.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Stay safe, everyone. You've got like